Okay, Grand Rising, everyone. This is Ron, Saturday, May 30th already, 10:05 a.m. Let's see if we have any questions. Anyone, how was your week? Anything come up that you'd like to discuss? Nothing? Okay. Pastor, did you have anything you wanted to bring to our attention? Pastor, can you hear me?
Hey,
Hey,
yeah, okay. I missed what you were saying.
okay, you kind of cutting out.
Hello?
Hello, you
Uh,
kind of cutting out.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I see. I missed what you were saying.
No, I was just saying we did not have any questions, anyone, so I was wondering if you had something you like to discuss this morning or
Yeah,
question or something. Yeah.
yeah, something came to me. What I was doing, I was actually watching the video,
Okay.
and after um, I watched it sometime later, something popped in my head in regards to it. And what I saw in relationship to the video was that we live our future and our past every second of the day. And we are interchangeably how real that is.
Pastor,
And yes,
Pastor, the last part of what you said, it, it kind of went low on us. Uh,
I say
do you
I did
mind
not
repeating your
realize.
last?
Oh, okay. I did not realize
Yeah.
how we carry our future and our past constantly. And it's energy as we speak every day. And the emphasis of our actions, not only at that moment, but also in the future. And what I mean by that is this, and I'll explain the past, the future, and the now in a few moments. But what I mean by that is it is grand. I'm very grateful for being able to go through this life even keel without having things bother me. And then you see everything wrong. What you see is again, if you create a future, that's what you expect as to go on. The moment that you say everything is going, uh, always going wrong, what you've done, you have negated what you said in the beginning, and that becomes your past. And the last thing that you spoke becomes your future. So your expectation, the universe hears what you said last, and the universe acts on what you said last. And if you keep going back and forth with it, then that's your past, your future keeps switching. The moment that you say it, and no matter what happens in your life, you stick to that. I'm grateful that everything in this life is working out the way it's supposed to for me and for everyone around me. If you do that, then you will be continuously creating a future where the universe begins to move on your behalf. Any questions about that first before I go further?
Yes, Grand Rising, everybody. Um, so what you're essentially describing is why manifestation doesn't happen.
Yes. Absolutely.
Um, and I would like you to go into that a little more because um I was thinking about that over the week about manifestation and how um truly if you don't know who you are, then you have no real basis to establish your I don't want to say faith because it's not faith. You have no basis to establish your knowledge
Your
that
your
you
equilibrium,
that you can manifest.
right? And the reason you don't is because you say with your lips that you know who you are, that you believe it, but you're not putting it in action when you keep vacillating like that. Can you see that?
Right. Yes. Hmm. Yeah,
So,
you have to know that you know that you know and just speak it.
yes. And see, this is the other part of it. Even if you go to the negative aspect of it, you still are not getting what you were searching for anyway. You still not experiencing what you thought you were going to experience. So why not just fight to hold on to what you know the truth to be? You tried everything else. Because right now, um, what happens is we say things that we make all of these confessions or these what do we call those affirmations? We make all those positive affirmations and then negate every one of them with one word or with one sentence in 2 seconds. But by speaking something that advocates every bit of what we just said, all those affirmations. Why? Why does it happen like that? Because you can't have it both ways. You cannot believe that the universe act upon your desires when you express them, and believe that it just ignores you when you say that something is not going to happen in your life or that your life is just torn apart. You can't expect that. It's just not going to happen. You can't have it both ways. So either you believe that the universe acts on your behalf and you believe that you know who you are in terms of being divine, that you can have it that way all the time. Now, the problem is we got that microwave mentality. We think manifestation is supposed to happen instantly. We don't give it a chance. An hour after you say that everything is good in your life, something happens, and now here you go. You revert right back to where you were. That attitude of negativity, and it abolishes everything positive. It abolishes everything that you say. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, perfectly.
So, how do we deal with that? First of all, let's recognize what your past, your future, and your now is. We talk about who we are, what the past, the future. We pretty much got that based on what I just said. So, what is the now? If those things are past and future, well, you are the now. It's not a now that exists outside of you. You are the now. And right now, what you say right now determines your past and your future. So, with you being the now, you are responsible for manifestation or the lack thereof. You are responsible for what happens in your life. I'll give you an example. Day before yesterday, my heating unit, they checked it out and thought it was the fan, which was not that bad to replace the fan in the unit. But when they took it disconnected from everything and checked the wires individually, they found out it was a compressor. And instead of saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" I said, "Oh well, now I need to find out whether it's going to be more advantageous for me to get a compressor or a unit." That attitude. Now, that's not the first time this happened with me. It just so happened this time when it happened, I can get it. Last time I had to think about how to get it and how I was going to do it. But I never vacillated about being able to do it. And I learned it the hard way over the years and still in the process of learning it. So now that I understand that I am the now, I realize more than ever before how the universe works on my behalf. I realize more than ever before how I am standing in my own way. Any questions or comments about that? Are you able to see that? Does it resonate?
Gus, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
We're in Nesbitt family, and we do honor the ancestors. Um, Maybe you said this before. I'm kind of slow on the draw this morning, but once we learn who we are, no, I think Audrey just said that too. Never mind. Never mind. Forget what I asked, or about to ask. But thank you.
Okay. Well,
It'll come back.
once we learn who we are, that means that you know it. You have book knowledge of it, for lack of a better term. But do you have actionable knowledge of it? Your actionable knowledge of it has nothing to do with what you do in terms of your movements. It has everything to do with how you think. It has everything to do with how you speak. It has everything to do with what thoughts that you allow to linger. What feelings, emotions that you allow uh, to linger. When Bob was talking about depression that time, she was talking about how depression is an opportunity for you to be still. But when we be still, we're so accustomed to moving, to doing something about something, until when we be still, our emotions shift to a dark place. However, if we focus on this as an opportunity for me to be still and seek to figure out why is it necessary for me to be still, then you begin to see the manifestation of it. When you stop and allow the universe to show you the reason you need to be still, as opposed to us going into the dark place and entertaining all of these thoughts that take us deeper into this dark space. So this idea of manifestation and the lack thereof is very much connected to whether you go into a state of depression or whether you are upbeat, regardless of what happens. Because when you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are divinity, that you are God, that when you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that's who you are, then depression does not depression and the lack of manifestation on your time does not bother you. However, you struggle to get to that place where it doesn't bother you. It doesn't happen overnight, and manifestation doesn't happen overnight. If everything manifested at the moment that you wanted it to manifest, you would be crazy by now. Because there are so many things that we want to manifest, and we look back at them retrospectively. We did not need this at that moment. We see how dangerous it would have been if we had received what we were requested at that moment. When the universe acts on your behalf, it acts when it's supposed to. It acts at the period of time
Thank you.
when you're most able to. Hello? It acts at the time when you're most able to handle it. I'm done.
Ray, this is Charles. Can you, I mean, can you throw your life in a loop?
But that's what you do. Your life is in a continuous loop. Yes. When you I'm good today, I'm bad tomorrow. I'm good today, I'm down tomorrow. I'm up today, I'm sideways tomorrow. That's a loop. You travel in a vicious circle, and nothing gets done. You get frustrated, and it's not that nothing gets done because the universe has forgotten you. Is that nothing gets done because you keep changing your mind, and you keep going in that loop, that circle, as opposed to just being
Hey, Pastor, your phone keep
Hello?
going in and out.
I can't understand why, because where I am, it should not be going in and out. However, um, I will repeat what I said, that we keep going in the vicious circle because we keep changing our mind. We keep saying we want one thing, we desire this, and when it doesn't happen when we want it to happen, or somebody steps in and breaks our train of thought by doing something to us, now everything shifts to, oh my God, why am I going through this? So that's what creates a circle. The head of.
So in essence, it's reverting back to the same old matrix, the same old behavior from before, when you don't
Yes,
quote unquote see something quote unquote new that you expect to see. You allow
when
doubt and uncertainty to creep back in, and you go back into the same mode of not response but reaction, right?
right. So you never walk into the future. You always live in the past, and your past is always in the now. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. Does that resonate?
Yes, that
Yeah.
resonates, Pastor. Thank you.
Yes, it does.
So it's imperative that we take heed to what we do, because otherwise, what we're actually doing is allowing outside stimuli and outside stimuli to determine whether or not we're going to manifest what we desire. And that outside stimuli, somebody saying something to you that rubs you the wrong way, is you thinking about what you don't have as opposed to being grateful for what you do. You thinking about the bumps in the road that you've been through in the past, and now here we go again type thing. All of that. Oh, and by the way, I take all suggestions for an HVAC person. No joke. But anyway, questions or comments?
Good morning, everyone. Based on what everyone has said, just about how you pronounce it again, y'all?
Manifestation.
Manifestation. You all talked about beliefs, thoughts, and emotions. And right before I went on vacation last week, one of my coworkers, she pulled me to the side and she said, "George, you mind if I pluck your brain for a minute?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "Watson, I'm about to get back in the dating world. Do you have anyone you can introduce me to?" And I took that as a compliment. So when I apply manifestation in it, what are my thoughts? You're going to know my thoughts. What are my beliefs? You're going to know my beliefs. What are my emotions? So your manifestation of being an algorithm with the universe, you also in some degree of algorithm of how people view you.
George, let me stop you right there for a moment, please. First of all, when you talk about manifestation for someone else, that depends on too many variables. It has nothing to do with you. It's for somebody else. You can focus on manifestation all you want for somebody else, but if they're subconsciously or consciously not cooperating, or if they're saying this is never going to happen for me, it's never going to happen for you either, and that is the reason I'm focusing on for yourself, for you as an individual. You cannot expect to manifest for somebody else if you can't do it for yourself. It's already difficult enough for you to do it for someone if you can do it every time for yourself. because of the variables that's involved in that you have no control over. The only control that you have over anything is your thoughts, your desires, your emotions. You see the difference in what we're talking about?
Yeah, Reverend Richard, I completely agree. You're looking at it from self-inventory standpoint, and I completely agree with that. Yet in how we maneuver out here, people are observing us.
Well, first of all, George, how we maneuver out here doesn't matter if you don't know how to maneuver within yourself. The thing is, physician, heal thyself. Work on your own issues. Work on your own expressions, your own thoughts. What do you think when things are not going right for you? Do you say, well, I'm grateful for everything I have? Or do you say, oh my God, here we go? Or do you say, so and so says something to me, or I can't pay this bill, or whatever? That's for you. And right now, I'm really not trying to be funny, not trying to be, but I'm really not concerned about us manifesting anybody else other than ourselves. Because again, I repeat, if you cannot manifest for yourself, you're not going to do it for someone else because of the variables involved. And it's much easier to tell somebody, oh, I got you, than it is for you to truly have them. They have to express that confidence in you first, but you have to have that in yourself before you can even say that. I mean, truly say that. Believe it and hold on to it. I hope you're getting the point I'm trying to make.
Reb, I do agree with what you're saying. And if I look at that from a individual standpoint, just me, if something resonates with me or manifests,
I'll say do.
hey, Reb, whatever spot you in, boss, you going to have to move because, as Mr. Charles stated, you breaking in and out.
Okay.
I hear
I say
what
it. Can you hear me? I ain't working for Verizon. Can you hear me now? Hello? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah,
You're breaking in and out.
yeah.
You might have to call and
Okay,
call
well,
back
I'm
in.
not gonna do any good. I'm driving. Oh, I'm riding rather. So I'm on the road.
You're good right now.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what we think about manifest for somebody else. I'm talking about individually. The physician has to heal itself, and that simply means you got to take care of your idiosyncrasies. You got to take care of your ups and downs before you can truly help someone else. It's easy to say I got you, but when you say that, do you know what you're saying? Do you have yourself? Do you have confidence in yourself? For example, when someone calls me and I say I got you, that simply means that I am the barrier between you and whatever you're dealing with. I got this from you. Whatever happens has to come through me first. Now you say, well, what about Phoebe? Well, I've done that. I've been there and still am there. However, I understood and still understand that that's totally in the hands of the universe, and I leave it there. But the universe knows what my desires are. Can you see the difference in what I'm trying to say, or can you see what I'm trying to say, period? Hello?
That it resonates. It really do resonate with me. But I'm glad you're saying this, Pastor Jay, because I realize since I've been in my house by myself, I realize I have a lot of work to do on me with this quiet time that I have. And there are times when I have a relative or relatives that's going through stuff, and I have realized that I have to let them deal with themselves because, again, like you said, I can't help them when my life is not together. You know what I'm saying? So what you're saying is resonate. And sometimes you can't stop. You're not going to be able to stop people going through what they're going through, because what they used to say, every tub got to sit on his own bottom.
Yeah.
You got to deal with you, and we are a handful. I've learned, like
Now,
they say, when you home, when you by yourself, when you alone, you see
yeah.
all kind of stuff that you have to deal
Yeah.
with. So thank
But
you.
let me say this. The other thing is this. It does not mean you can't bring comfort to people. It does not mean that if someone is saying um, what they desire because of what they're going through, that you cannot say to them, I stand with you. If you truly believe this, hold on to it. But I stand with you in what you are saying. Does that make sense? Can you
It
see that?
resonates, yes, sir. It does. I do.
I'm
I
not
do.
negating that at all,
Thank.
but I am saying that the major problem right now is us in manifestation. That's the major problem right now. That we don't embrace manifestation like we should.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Any questions or comments about that? And George, was that clear with you?
Not at the moment, Rev, yet. With me as an individual, I just believe in talking my situation out.
Okay.
I'm not the
Well,
individual.
go ahead.
Yet based upon what Miss Evelyn stated, which I do agree with, some of it I don't, is I don't believe every tub sits on its own bottom. Yet I do understand in context of what Miss Evelyn is, of what she said.
Do you understand that principle? That every tub must sit on the bottom? At the end of the day, it's not what somebody else says about you, what they do on your behalf, what they do on your behalf, or how they treat you. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you receive it. What matters is what decisions you make, what thoughts you have about yourself, what you believe about yourself, what do you believe in, who do you trust. That's every tub first, but to sit on its own bottom before it could join the rest of the tubs and be an ensemble.
Oh, hello, everyone. This is Sheldon. Well, first of all, Pastor Richard, will you finish with your thought just now?
Now, I was waiting to see if George gathered what I was saying about every tub, the principle of every tub must sit on its own bottom.
To the group, yes, I do. Yes,
Okay.
I do understand it, and I understand it by context.
Okay.
Like when some people say a rat with one hole is a poor rat. If you're talking about multiple streams of income in context, I agree with that. Yet, if it's said in a way, a man that only got one woman, poor rat, I don't agree with that.
Well,
So
I don't agree with what,
I
well,
agree.
first of all, wait a minute, wait. First of all, we're not talking about capitalism. We're not talking about materialism. We're not talking about things. We're talking about you. We talk about the individual person and what they believe. We're not talking about these external stimuli that pulls us in every direction except the right direction. That's not what we talk about at all. And whether you talk about a rat or talk about an income stream, it doesn't matter. Those things are what pulls us in so many different directions. Those are the very things that keep us from experiencing manifestation, because they have been given to us in such a manner that is so convoluted until it's extremely difficult to have a thought that is a continuous thought that holds the same value to us as well as the same power of deliverance to us. Those external stimuli are the problem. So that's not what we're talking about either.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to comment on. What we're talking about, George, as it relates to every tub sitting on its bottom, is every individual having, in a sense, to master manifestation for themselves. And what that looks like, it doesn't mean or something different to talk about you or one of us coming to someone or one of each other's aid. It talks about the manifestation in terms of the reality that we're actually creating for ourselves, and therefore our own personal life experiences, in a sense, and how what that means to us, regardless of what someone is actually doing for us. All the physical stimuli that you just mentioned, or Pastor Richard gave an example of, can be put in someone's life, but yet and still their lives can be in absolute shambles, even though we're trying to remedy that. Now, say in a situation when we're talking about manifestation of someone else is manifesting in their own life. In a sense, they open up that aid or whatever it may be to come in their life because they actually believe with a shadow of doubt that that is their reality before it becomes even a physical reality, and then they go forth, etc. Another part that I was thinking about as it relates to manifestation, which may help in terms of, okay, the idea of what that actually looks like. When we're talking about going back and forth and going in circles, it is within oneself. Both of those things actually exist in terms of dualities, in terms of options. And I'm just going to use Pastor Richard example for his air conditioned heating system. He can vacillate, go back and forth, but between thinking, oh, this is going to be taken care of, this is nothing, this is not even a matter, is literally just getting me somebody to come here and fix it, or even thinking of, yeah, there's going to be fixed soon, and in a sense, it's already done in his head and in his heart, and I'm going to add emotion there. On the other hand, he could go back and forth and doubt that which I just said. And it's a situation where it's like, oh Lord, how I'm going to pay for this? Man, this cost a lot of money last time. Last time I had to pay for this, I had to go without, X, Y, and Z, or struggle to get the money from A, D, and C in order to pay for this. And all of a sudden, internally, he's created the struggle, in a sense, to actually get this air condition fixed. It is not only, and so when we're manifesting in the way that we're actually talking about, that whole thought of I got to find the money, where is the money, how long is it going to take, etc., that doesn't even exist. That's not even a thought. That's not even a reality within him. That's when the manifestation is actually taking place in the sense that, that we're talking about. Now, the other part is emotion. Our manifestations are powered by the emotions, which is the energy that we actually give them. So if Pastor Richard is extremely stressing out over this air conditioning, how is it going to get done, and he doesn't see it taking place, he is literally making it more difficult for that thing to actually happen. He's actually creating inside himself those conditions for him to actually then experience or struggling to get the air condition fixed. If he's automatically just feeling good about it, or is thoughtless, or he feels basically the emotions is feeling very strongly about a thing. Our deeper thoughts and beliefs, they're powered by the strength of the emotions that we have actually towards them. That is what powers them and brings them into manifestation. I'll finish at the moment.
All right, then, Sheldon, into the group, as stated, by way of context, I agree with everything that's being said. From an individual standpoint, the thoughts that I have about anything is going to have some kind of emotion of the restraints I put around myself. I understand that completely. And like I say, if something resonates with me, I just believe in you talk it out.
Okay.
Yet I do understand that from an individual standpoint, based upon what you said, Sheldon, and the analogy of Reverend Richard with the heating and air, the thoughts that come to you, they're going to manifest in some way. For example, Sheldon, did you see the Michael Jackson movie, or has anyone seen the Michael Jackson movie?
No, I haven't actually seen it yet.
Has anyone seen it?
I haven't.
What's your point about manifestation?
That with my thoughts about a situation, just in my occupation, if I'm going to a place I've never been before and I go into that arena kind of timid, then guess what? Or not having confidence about the objective I need to do, it's going to play out with me in some shape or form. So, like I say, I understand what y'all saying. I understand probably better than what you think I do. That's it. I'll continue to listen. Thank y'all.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? And by the way, thank you guys for your questions and comments.
This is Vermel. I want to make sure I understood Sheldon in the conversation about manifestation. So our feelings, if we allow them to run away, or our thoughts, where we just keep going back and forth, we're not going to manifest anything.
Except
We're
trouble.
going to accept what?
So what I mean is, when I say emotions and feelings, we're not just talking about that as only from a negative standpoint. It means that it just means that you feel very strongly, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. You feel extreme joy about the matter or whatever. I'm trying to figure out how to say that right quick. So when you feel emotions within yourself, whether it is joy, whether it is anger, whether it is sadness, whether you just feel extremely alive, from within, like a fire within, whatever it may be, it's kind of like you yourself are charged as an energy source at that particular moment. And so with the manifestations and with your deep thoughts and beliefs at that particular time, and beliefs can actually be hidden because you don't even know that you believe certain things until you dig deeper. That is the thing that emotions that spark that power that you are, whatever it is, you are powering that, good, bad, or indifferent. That is what your energy is. I mean, you feel it within yourself. That is the emotion that I'm actually talking about. The stronger you feel, whatever it is, that is the energy source in a sense.
And
you're putting energy towards that thing. Sorry, go ahead. Well,
and so that is what, when Kathy talks about sitting with something till you have a knowing, that's the similar same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And to put it simple, whatever you feel very strongly about, and you have the choice to feel strongly about whatever it is. Your emotions can be whatever about anything. At the same time, you can be completely indifferent about something. It doesn't register at all. If you were to like put some type of electrical charge or measurement to you to figure out how strongly you're firing in a sense, for lack of words. That's all I mean by your emotions and energy towards the thing.
Michelle.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Only last thing I was going to say is the thoughts you have. Oh, so for example as well, and because I know this is more sort of a balancing thing, right? There are absolutely going to be times when there are going to be adverse thoughts or thoughts of negativity that actually pass. For sure, they're going to come up. What we do is you just literally simply let those pass right on through, and you don't, in a sense, take a hold of it, right? this may be, hopefully I'm not going too far. You go in a room, and you go in a room or in an area or something like that where you have dealing with energies of people who are, let's say, manifesting in not such a great way. Let's just say they're pretty down in life or their outlook in life. You will, in some sense, be exposed to that. Question becomes, do you just let that simply pass and keep on moving, and then you be the light or the higher energy source that you are? Or do you then grab onto that thing and harp onto it, and then you take hold of that thought, and now you start giving your energy to that thought? So I say all that to say, there will be bad or thoughts or adverse thoughts or let's say a manifestation or an experience that you do not want to actually take place. It's a learning thing, and this is going back with Kathy talking about sitting with something or being able to sit and understand yourself. You let that thought go. You do not harp on it and say, oh, stay there and say, oh, that would be a horrible thing if that was to actually happen. And then you just sit there and think about how horrible might that thing be happening. Well, this will break down, and this will happen, and this happen. Wow, that would really be a horrible thing. Just let it go. Let it pass through and keep on going.
Thank you, Sheldon. That really works for me. Thank you both.
Okay, Sheldon. Oh, forgive me. Whoever was first can go ahead.
Okay. When I was talking about the first time that this happened to me, this time that it happened differently. The first time that it happened, I did not know what I was going to do, but I didn't fret. This time when it happens, I got a credit card. And if push really came to shove, I could call some people to help. So what am I saying? Because of the way I dealt with it before, the means have been put in place for me to deal with it differently this time, because I held on to what I believe. I held on to my desire, my belief that at that time God was going to deliver me through it, which really was the universe responded to what I needed based on me not changing my position on what I believe and actually putting what I was waiting for in the past as opposed to leaving it in my future. And by virtue of leaving it in my future, it didn't take as long as it would have had I not done that. And there have been times when things that happen in my future, I'm sorry, when things have happened in my life that I didn't do it the right way. I dealt with it differently. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Thank you. All I'm saying is simply that the more you do it, the more it works in your favor. When Kathy talked about sitting with it, she talked about having sat with something that really disturbed her, that really was hurting and putting her in a position that she did not want to be in. But after she sat with it and got past the desires for the people who did this to feel it and got beyond that, then everything began to fall in place. Did it do it overnight? No. Did it do it in 2 weeks? No. But guess what? It happened. Why? Because every time that it came up and was bothering her, she would sit with it and say, that's not who I am. And sitting with it, yes, is a physical thing, but it's also sitting with it internally. No, I'm not going there, that kind of thing. And if Kathy's on, am I right about what I'm describing?
You are correct. And I wasn't speaking. I hope you all can understand me because I'm a little bit nasally today. But you're absolutely correct. And when we're speaking of sitting with, that is coming to terms on the inside of you. And what I had to learn when I say coming to terms with something on the inside of you, that means coming to a place of peace on the inside of you with a situation that brings you nothing but turmoil, heartache, and a lot of angst. But you make the decision that, okay, what I'm learning through my meditation, and when I speak of manifestation, as I'm meditating, I'm receiving the energy from the universe, and the wisdom and the guidance from the ancestors to prepare me for whatever comes my way today. Being Elohim, understanding that I am a Kabalonian, does not mean there will not be situations that will still come at me. Those are opportunities for me to understand who I am. And so when we're talking about manifesting, I leave out of my meditation saying I'm prepared for whatever comes today. And I hold on to that, and I believe that. And some things are really harder than others to be prepared for. And I'm not going to lie to you. That doesn't always feel comfortable when you say that. But coming out of that meditative state, I'm like, I've received the wisdom of the ancestors to direct and guide me through whatever it is so that I can stay at a place of balance with whatever I face. So what Pastor was describing with the heating unit was a place of balance. And as a result of a place of balance, he was able to manifest what needed to be done in that instance. And I'll give you an example of a situation with me. Since I moved to Spartanburg, every year, my taxes are crazy. I have to pay so many taxes, and I'm not even working. I'm not even drawing a regular income like I had when I was working. And I was talking to a friend right before I went to have taxes prepared. And I said, I got to go get my taxes done. And she was like, oh, Lord, girl, I'm praying with you. And I said, no need. I've made a decision that I'm going in like a boss this year. I'm the boss lady. I'm going in there, and taxes are going to be fine. So when I walked in, we started preparing taxes. I was up to $2,500 that I was going to have to pay back. And we kept talking and we kept working. And then it was like a light bulb went on with the gentleman that does my taxes. And he's like, I really need to help you with this. There's a way we can do blah, 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 blah. And all of this is legal. And as a result, I ended up not paying anything and getting thousands of dollars back because my attitude was different, because every year I go into that situation with dread saying, oh, what is it going to be this time? But not this year. That was an opportunity for me to see what manifestation looks like and to remind me. And that's what happens with us when we're going and facing different situations. They are opportunities to remind you of the power that you are. And being able to manifest and stay in a place of balance and sitting with is when everybody around you is telling you, you ought to do this, you ought to do that, and it's not resonating. And you're like, but that takes me out of character of who I am if I do what you're telling me I need to do to get even with these people who are hurting me. I had to sit with the thing to know who I am and in my heart forgive and move on and let the universe handle the rest. All of that is about spiritual growth and understanding of beginning to know who we really are and the power that we really have and the energies that's available to us through the universe to prepare us to do. If I accomplish, no, let me say it this way. If I tried to approach any of these things just as Kathy Smith, trying to figure it out in my own mind on my own, I would fail miserably. But when I understand that the energies of the universe are at my disposal to lead, and the ancestors, the wisdom of my ancestors is available to me to guide me through that situation if I will be still and hear them and allow them to tell me what I need to do, then I manifest. And that's just the way I'm learning to approach things. And I hope that resonates with you and clears that up a little more. But that's exactly, Pastor, back to your original question. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
And yes, it
Thank
does.
you.
It resonates deeply. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all.
So-
Here's the go ahead, whoever was next.
No, I'll wait on you, George.
Nah. Go ahead, Mr. Charles, because you may say something to help me pull this together. Go ahead, if you don't mind, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you. We all went in this rabbit hole, probably not at the same time, but we all went in it. And this rabbit hole, it teaches each and every one of us how to be God. That's what the ancestors are doing. You can accept it, or you can put it to heart. I mean, it ain't all of going in the whole individual is to get you to understand, to know who you are. The ancestors are using everyone here to bring a piece of the puzzle to the crowd. So
And
I
that's
went in
why
this
we
rabbit
keep going
hole.
through, Charles, 1 second.
Yeah.
That's why we keep going through stuff to teach us. Go ahead, Charles.
And so while you in this rabbit hole, everybody not understand what that person may be talking about. But when we all come together, we explode. That twisting. Everyone gets it. Everyone understands it. And not only that, we think that we're supposed to go out and try to jump in someone's face and this and that and this because we're trying to understand a little bit of something. It's not for them, it's for you. It's only going to be for them when they want to listen. When they want to know, when they want to understand. Because you go out, trying to tell people what we got, what we learning, they're going to look at you like you're still a fool. So this rabbit hole is taking us, while we're in this rabbit hole, don't you know we got light? That's the ancestors giving us light on everything that we see and do. Not only that, it's like it's been said, whatever you believe, that's what, and if you believe in something different from what the ancestors trying to show you or tell you, someone in the group can help open it up in a way that you can get it. That don't mean the ancestors not doing to make you see you believe it. You hadn't got to the point where you can understand it all yet. But we getting there. We getting there. And I thank the ancestors for everything they doing for us.
Thank you. Thank you,
And may
Charles.
I add to that, Charles? Thank you, Charles. I agree with everything you just said. You opened it up beautifully. And when we talk about honoring the ancestors, I really want us to understand that every time I am less than Elohim, every time I behave in a manner that is not being Elohim, I dishonor them. The only way I bring honor to the ancestors and honor the sacrifices that they made for me to be Elohim, to be who I am, the I am that I am, is when I honor them through my actions, by being Elohim, understanding who I am and acting that way in these situations. Why do you think all these situations keep coming at us? Seems like even more comes. The more we understand about who we are, the more things we are faced with, because there are more opportunities to show us the power that we are and the power that we walk in and the wisdom that we acquire from the ancestors to guide me through whatever that circumstance is that I'm facing right now. And that's very important, because anything less than that is a dishonor to them, and all of the things that they went through and the sacrifice and even death that they went through on our behalf becomes a dishonor when we refuse to be who we are, who we were destined to be, who we know we are. And then anytime I choose to just be less than that, then it's a disservice to them. And I just wanted to add that to what you said, Charles. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it out, honey.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Can I say something about?
go ahead.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I was thinking about what you were saying with like what happened with your unit and stuff like that. And I was also thinking about like I was just looking like for the last couple of months, but about the last month I've been going through a situation, and you know my situation. I'm not gonna get into details or whatever. But I found myself in this cycle that I have been through. I done been in this same cycle. I can't even count how many times I done went through this same cycle. And in the past, like me saying, it was like when you talk about a tub standing on its own bottom,
it was one of them things where I knew we would say we were Elohim, and then as we progressed and we got to talking about the ancestors and things like that, and I would get up in the morning, I would go honor the ancestors and talk to the ancestors and things like that, pour libations, do all this stuff. But when the rubber really met the road and I found myself in a place that I was so uncomfortable, I found myself, I was angry, I was questioning, asking the ancestors, like, this ain't what this ain't where we supposed to, we ain't going in the right direction. Maybe we're not communicating right. Maybe am I missing something? And it was like the place I found myself in was so uncomfortable, it made me begin to question, like, okay, am I really getting this? And then at the same time, I was listening. I would go back and I would listen to the old classes that we had like in the last couple of weeks. And on one of the classes, I can't remember who exactly said it, but they were basically saying that we don't even necessarily know, like we understand that we are supposed to be God, but we don't even know what that entails. What to ask God for, what to ask the Creator for, what to ask the ancestors for, because we got our own thoughts and our own perceptions of what this is supposed to look like. And when I found myself in this place, I was like, I wanted something to happen like magic. Wake up in the morning, I'm feeling good, I see the sun shining, I think I'm gonna go out and speak to this thing, and it's gonna move immediately, and everything's just gonna be fine, and I'll be able to say, oh, look what I did. But it didn't happen like that. And then, so when I didn't see anything happen, I started to get depressed. So I had to go back and listen to the thing about depression. And I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be depressed. I should embrace this place and see what is it that I'm supposed to learn in this place. And then when I finally started to deal with these things one by one, I'm like, okay, I need to deal with this first. I had realized I had unresolved issues with the passing of my mother, stuff that I hadn't even dealt with, and I knew I couldn't move to the next step unless I dealt with that first. So I started to deal with those things, and instead of like trying to run from that place like I've always done, I just sat there. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here in this place, and whatever I feel, if I feel like I need to cry, if I feel anger, whatever I feel, I'm just gonna embrace whatever it is in this place until I don't feel like that anymore. And once I did that, I was able to move on to the next step. And then when I found myself yesterday, and I was sitting here, and I'm like, okay, I know I don't exactly know what to do, but I know who I am, and I know that the cosmic mother and my ancestors have my best interests at heart. And knowing that is enough. And okay, if this is where I'm supposed to be, instead of me being mad, instead of me being angry, instead of me trying to make something happen, thinking I'm going to do this on my own, I'm just going to sit back and trust the ancestors. And so as I was sitting here yesterday, I was sitting in my house, and like me and Pastor have talked for years about me getting my stuff right with the military. And I had even pursued trying to get an attorney to help me get this stuff done. And the attorney was like, you're going to have to pay me 50% of your back pay if I do it for you. And I was like, I ain't got that, and I don't even want to give you that. So I'm sitting there walking around the house, and I'm throwing away stuff at my daddy's house. And I stumbled across some papers from the military from 2013. And the paperwork had told me that I was entitled to all my benefits and everything I needed to do. And I didn't even know this paper existed. And I'm like, well, dang. Like, if I never had to come back here, I wouldn't have even thought to look in there. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just trying to make a bad situation worse by just trying to do stuff to kind of keep myself occupied. Okay, I see that stuff I need to be doing here. Okay, I'm going to start cleaning up, start putting stuff away and getting stuff in order. And in the process of that, I stumbled across something that I didn't even know I had. And so I was like, okay, that was confirmation. Now I'm going to continue to sit still and let things unfold the way that I trust the universe to allow them to unfold. And that was it. I just wanted to kind of just say that.
Is it?
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Don.
Don,
Absolutely, yes. Thank you, Don.
yes, what I heard
This is Barbara.
Hey, Rev, you in a
for
bad
today.
spot, boss.
Oh, I'm at the airport. That's fine. What it is. Go ahead, Barbara.
Thank you. This is Grand Rising, everyone. Don, that was an awesome, awesome example of what we've been talking about, describing what Kathy calls sitting with. But during the sitting with, that's the time when we allow all these other opportunities, all these other potentials to reveal themselves. That's what the universe is doing when we choose not to focus on one thing that we think is the answer. That's collapsing all that possibility into the physical when we and that thing, that one thing we focus on usually is not the best potential for us. But when we sit with it and when we allow ourselves to be comfortable in the anger, be comfortable in the silence, be comfortable in the crying, that allows the universe the opportunity to unfold and reveal to us another opportunity, which is usually a much better opportunity. And so, I mean, you said all of that, but it just reminded me of this whole thing about quantum physics and spirituality and how it really works. It just reveals itself when we don't beforehand try to concentrate or come up with or solve a problem before it's time. If that resonates. Thank you.
And one thing that John said that really, the whole thing brought clarity, but he came to an acceptance that the cosmic mother and the ancestors have his best interests at heart. That goes back to the knowing and the trusting that we've been trying to draw a picture of all morning. He laid it out beautifully. When he got to that point, then he was able to accept and just be in the moment, be still, and allow the universe, as Barbara just said, to bring the manifestation of what he needed to him without him really needing to go try to fix it himself. He had already tried that. That didn't work with the lawyer. And so I think all of it was important. But that part that says, I had to realize I wasn't doing this by myself anymore because the universe has me. The universe has got me. The energies, the wisdom of the universe, of the cosmic mother, of the ancestors, they will lead and guide me. That sums it up. And if we can get to the point of trusting that and knowing that, then the journey of manifestation becomes so much clearer to us. I don't want to say easier. I'll say clearer, because sometimes it is difficult to be still and know, depending on what that situation is. But hold on to the fact that if you be still and just know, sit with it and get a peace on the inside of knowing, I don't know how this thing is going to play out, but I trust that the universe has my best interest at heart and it's going to work to my advantage. Then you can move with the freedom and the power and the grace of knowing I am. And I just wanted to share that with you. So thank you for allowing me to say that.
The other thing I learned is what I've always said. Everybody finds their own path. And this is what we mean by, you can't do it for somebody else. Everybody has to listen to their own inner voice and deal with their own inner thoughts and feelings, and sit with their own inner thoughts and feelings until they find their way. And you can't do that for somebody else. They have to find a way to do it for themselves. Even though you can give support, you can give some financial support, you can give emotional support, but that everybody has to find their own way through their thoughts and feelings and emotions and find their own spiritual path. So
Can
And
I
I
add,
agree.
add
I'm sorry, Don, give me just one moment, please. I just wanted to add that I think that's where the confusion comes in about every tub sitting on on its own bottom, simply because we are one yet many. We are connected. We are one. But your journey is an individual journey. And that's the every tub sitting on its own bottom. You have to find this for yourself. People can help you as far as they can take you. But if you're, like Charles said earlier, you can't teach somebody what we were teaching unless they're ready to learn. The journey has to be individual. We got here individually, and now we're collectively learning this together as a group. But when we hang up this phone, what I face today is my journey individually. What you're going to face is your journey individually. That's the every tub sitting on its own bottom analogy that we were speaking of. And thank you, Don, for yielding for a moment. I'm done.
exactly.
but what I wanted to add was, and it was kind of funny because I like my first instinct, and like in the past, if I was going through something, I would call Pastor and I would just tell him about it. And that would be times where he'd be like, "I'll handle it," or "I'll take care of it." But as years have gone on, I don't really want to call Pastor unless I'm giving him an update on the progress that something is made. And so when I had really got to the point where I was really kind of wrestling with this thing, I was having family members, they telling me, "Oh, you back here because God wants you back in the church. God is trying to do something with you. You need to turn back to Jesus," and all this other stuff. And I was like, man, and I was getting so aggravated with that. And I was like, and finally, I was talking to my sister, and I just had to tell her, I said, I know you knew we came up in the church, and you know that I have searched and I have continued to search for the Creator. And I said, and I believed it, and I said, don't get me wrong, I know the Creator is real. And I said, but where the Creator has led me in my search for truth, I won't find it in nobody's church. And I said, I am here. I said, not because I did something wrong to God and God is punishing me. I said, this ain't punishment. I said, this is a space for me to grow and for me to come out better. And when I said that to her, it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I finally got to say that so they would just leave me alone. So I could just, kind of just get that off my chest, but without, because my first, like in the past, I probably would just curse them all out, and they wouldn't even got that. They wouldn't have got any understanding of where I was. But I was like, I gotta take a different approach, and I just felt a calmness when I talked to him about it. And then I said, everything is gonna work out. Everything is gonna be fine. And I know this ain't a time where I need to call Reverend Richard and I need to tell Pastor Richard, "Oh, I need you to help me out." No, I can do this on my own. And everything that's in Pastor Richard is in me. And so I'm just gonna sit here, and because I know I can manifest something, but what if I don't know what to manifest? So I started asking the cosmic mother and my ancestors, show me what to manifest, because I may manifest something that y'all don't even want me to have. I may manifest the wrong thing and be be sitting right back here again 5 years from now. And I know for certain I don't want to come back to this place again. So if I have to sit here for 4 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, however long I have to sit here, let me learn what I need to learn. Teach me what I need to manifest. Show me what to manifest, so I don't have to come back to this place again, because this place is so uncomfortable. And then I want it, and let me get to a place where I find peace in this uncomfortable place. That because I couldn't sleep, I wasn't eating. I was like, okay, I got to come to a place where I'm peaceful in this place. I find tranquility here. And so the more I did that, the more things would start to work out and just fall into place. And pastors was saying, you may think, like when we talked about blessings, you thinking, oh, somebody's gonna come and I'm gonna get it this way, I'm gonna get blessed this way, I'm gonna get blessed that way. But I don't care how the blessing comes. I'm just expecting one to come. Don't matter how it comes. I mean, it don't have to, Brinks truck don't have to ride by and all the money blow out. Just long as they could call me and say, you don't have to pay for something or whatever. However it happens, I'm open to it happening. That's all.
Hey, y'all ain't forgot about me, have you? Go ahead, Reverend Richard. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say to John that, and that's the right way to do it. You don't have any preconceived ideas about how delivery takes place. You have a definite idea about your desire for manifestation and staying positive about it, and which means you stand in the future, which means also that your future is now, and the now is you. And you don't want what your future now to be in your past simply because you changed your outlook on the positivity of it being delivered, regardless of how it comes. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
To the group, number one, I'm glad I let Mr. Charles go before me, because in what he said, I understand that kind of talk. Yet I'm ecstatic that I just let him go, and he not only did he aid me, he aided the group. Yet just in listening to what everyone has said after what Mr. Charles stated, Miss Cassie talked about balance. It was Miss Barbara, Miss Audrey, who talked about just focusing on one thing and you could have a collapse, something that she said. So one of the things that I try to do when I go into an arena, any kind of arena, I always look to find the good people are doing to enhance feminine energy. Yet I don't so much focus all on the good that I forget that there is a disrespect of feminine energy out here also. So I'm asking if people have these thoughts that in whatever situation that they go in, they're going to see a disrespect of feminine energy. And that's all they elected to discuss or talk about. Could they blind their own selves by seeing the good that people are doing with feminine energy? You understand what I'm saying, Sheldon, or you don't understand what I'm saying?
Keep on speaking.
That's about it. If anyone can interpret that, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm just saying, when I go into a situation, I give some attention to, I'm going to see some good out here. I'm going to see somebody do something good. However, my attention is not so much focused on the good. That's all I'm giving my attention to, that I forget. Oh, there is some disrespect to feminine energy. Vice versa. I can go into an arena and just say disrespect feminine energy and have all the evidence in the world to support. There's a disrespect of feminine energy out here. And if I'm giving all my attention to the disrespect of feminine energy, could it blind me or give me a blurred vision of there is some good people doing out here to keep feminine energy at the forefront? You understand, Reb, or you don't understand? It sounds convoluted.
I understand what you're saying. I do. However, it's not about, we're not talking about seeing some good out here. We're not talking about the idea of embracing feminine energy, because if you disrespect it, nothing good is going to come to you anyway. And you're blinded to what good means. Good sometimes look like it's bad. For example, sometimes it's good that you don't reach out and help people when they call you. There are times when I say to them, do it yourself. You can do this, handle it. Now, to someone who don't understand what that means, they have an issue with that because it sounds like I'm brushing someone off, but I'm not. I'm saying do it yourself. Why am I saying do it yourself? I am saying do it yourself because that's who you are. Do it yourself. And when you do it yourself, you'll see a total difference in the way things are and the way you embrace them. So this whole thing about feminine energy is one of those things that I really don't want to get into, especially today, because of where our focus is. At some point later on, we may be able to get into that, and that's fine, but not right now. So I know that we have talked a lot. Don't want to leave anybody out. Don't want to leave George's comment hanging. However, at the same time, I think that we have reached a place where we have actually where we actually painted a vivid picture of what we are talking about when we are talking about your passion, your future, and you being the now. I think the examples that were given are very pertinent to the discussion. I also believe that the energy that has flowed through everything that was said is the energy that we have received and all the energy that we actually need. So that's where I think we should leave it for now and then come back with it tomorrow if we have any questions, to be sure that we write them down so we don't forget them. So what do you guys think about that? That's not.
That'll be good. We can stop here.
Okay, that's not rhetorical. Okay. All right,
Yeah,
Ron?
that'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I'm good.
agree.
Ron? I can't see you, so I don't know. Is Ron on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Great discussion. Again, write your questions down and look forward to it tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great day. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everyone.